While we get these people in the box, you may notice that I'm not reading the comments. My eyes are over here. I'm using a webcam, so like I'm looking at myself, but this is actually looking at you. Should we do this? Do you want to be intimate? Just scooch a little close. I'm really big compared to my desk now. While we have these conversations, you may notice that we don't address the comments. That we're not saying, hey, Cindy. Hey, Superman, thanks for coming into the show. We missed you. We're not saying thank you for gifts. And that's because during these conversations, at times we get into some sensitive information, like whether they like Marvel versus DC. Now, obviously, if they say DC, we're going to help them. We're going to show them the light of Marvel. But that being said, there are other sensitive topics that we do get into. So out of respect for those conversations, we do not acknowledge the gifts. We do not deter from the path. At this time, B. Hill, will you please request the box? This gentleman is a pun connoisseur, a jokester, someone who's on the rise. He's got his black VIP badge, and he's here to tell you why he is worth your time. Everyone, please welcome our very first guest this evening, Mr. B. Hill, with the suit and tie.
Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm so great, man. It's great to meet you. It's great to have you on.
Thank you. I appreciate the chance.
Absolutely. So when I caught wind of you, they're pitching the guests. They're like, all right, we got a guy. He's great. He does dad jokes. Now, if you've hung around me ever, I have told a dad joke or two in my life. Are you a professional dad joke teller?
I try to be. I aspire to be like you, man.
I want to grow up to be like you. What are you talking about? How long? Have you been a jokester your entire life?
No, actually, it was just something that just really hit home because, as I get up there in age, the dad jokes seem to be more and more funny to me. So I wanted to spread that off to other people.
You put on the white New Balances, and it was like Excalibur coming out of the stone. Exactly. It's like, I've got the power. No, so you said you're getting up there in age. I would never guess that. You look like a young, handsome man here. But you're here on the platform. You're doing your thing. Did you find out comedy was your stick early through live, or was this before live?
It was actually before live, but my go-to has always been sports, but comedy's just that extra little bonus because who doesn't like to make people laugh?
Right. And when your team's doing bad, at least you can laugh. Right?
100%. All my teams do bad, so it's okay.
I'm from Michigan. We don't have good sports teams. We used to.
We have that in common, Chris.
Oh, are you a fellow Michigander?
Born and raised, and I was a Central Michigan University grad.
Wow, we've got a lot to talk about here. So let's roll back the calendar way before you started streaming on Plenty of Fish, because I know you're a Plenty of Fish streamer. Yeah. Were you a college athlete?
I was. I played football for Central Michigan, and then I was a undrafted free agent for the Minnesota Vikings.
Whoa! Now, what does an undrafted free agent mean? Does that mean that you get to step in?
It means you're very good, but you're not nearly as good as any of the starters.
I mean, I'm getting the sense, though, even just from the box, that you're a pretty big guy. What position did you play in football?
I played the Mike linebacker.
A linebacker.
Yes,
so you had to be able to block the people, and I don't know sports.
You go find somebody with the football, and you hit them as hard as you possibly can.
You've done that, and you still throw the ball around during the barbecues, or you retired from all that?
No, I still do. I've probably been hitting the head one too many times, hence the dad jokes now. But it comes out.
I love it. Well, tell us a little bit more about the football career, because there's a lot of people, probably not on this platform, but high schoolers, they have these big dreams. I'm going to go to the NFL, make it big. What's the reality? Because you undersold it. You said not as good as the other guys, but you sound pretty good to me. What's the reality of trying to go from a college athlete into making the big leagues?
It's pretty much the same thing as going from Pee Wee football to varsity high school. I mean, the game speeds up that much, and the athletes are that much better. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. So if you were great in high school, you're going to be okay in college. If you're great in college, you're just going to be average in pros.
In the pros. Wow. I know that there's a gap, but I didn't know it was that big. Had you banked on football being your future? Did you think that, hey, I'm going to go pro and write checks and chill in a jacuzzi the rest of my life? Or
always wished, Always wish, but no. The reality is I knew I needed an education to continue on.
Wow. So what'd you study? I mean, whatever realm you're comfortable getting into, but what were you studying while you were in school?
I was a criminal justice major with a business management minor, and go Chippewas.
That's a diverse background. And by the way, everyone, while we're having this conversation, make sure you're hitting the favorite on B Hill. He's our very first guest this evening. You don't want to miss anything. You go to school, you realize that while playing sports, it's still important to get an education. We do have people on the platform. It's an 18 and up app who are starting their college experience, who might even be playing some college sports. Any advice to those collegiate athletes who have aspirations to play their sport or take it further?
Well, let me just put it in perspective to you. In college football itself, there are over 13,000 players each year. Only 200 get drafted. 264 if you want to get exact.
Wow.
So the reality is you're not going to make it. I mean, so have your backup plan. I mean, that's basically what it goes to.
Have the backup plan for sure. And that's, I mean, I've heard an acronym that the NFL stands for not for long. That's also a possibility too.
The other thing, Chris, is in the NFL, the average lifespan is 3 years. You see your Peyton Mannings, you see your Tom Brady's who last forever, but to become fully vested in the NFL to where they pay you retirement, it's 3 years and 3 games. So they're going to get rid of 99% of the people before the 3 years is up.
Wow. So they do that intentionally. It's not that they're not good anymore. I didn't know that. I didn't even know that the NFL paid a retirement. So you're saying that they keep people for 3 years, they cut them off because they're like, we're not going to keep paying this guy. But the reality is they could still be pretty good. It's just that they want to take someone fresh and new so they don't have to pay the retirement fees.
100%.
That's insane. I had no idea. Welcome to Suit Up, everyone. You get your football facts here. I didn't know that. I learned how to tie a tie for this. This is crazy. We're shifting gears. All right, so college days are gone. You don't strike me as the person, though, who thought the college years, the high school years were the highlight of their life. You're not still riding that high. Looks like you're doing pretty well and still having some fun. So what keeps you busy these days outside of being a streamer?
Well, like most sports people, I got into the auto business, and I'm a general manager of a car dealership, to be honest with you.
Sure. What do you think it is about that stereotype or, that idea that people who play sports end up being great at sales? Is it the competitive nature? What do you think the relation is?
A lot of it is the competitive nature because you always want to beat that next person. Usually in sales, you got 15, 20 other salespeople, so you want to be the best. And that's the way I was. I wanted to be the best when I was selling cars, and then when I became in management, and now I want to be the best GM.
I walk on a lot. What should I walk away with, Mr. B Hill? What are you thinking? Like right now, what's the prime type of an automobile to go for?
Well, I'm with a CDJR company, which is Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. So I would tell you, somebody of your stature, you'd need to drive a Hellcat,
Like a Hemi, like a V. What is it? Can you have a Hemi and a V8? Are they two different things?
No, it's the same thing. A Hellcat is like a normal Hemi on a Dodge Charger would be like 350 horsepower. When you get to a Hellcat, you go up to 707 horsepower.
I'd tell you those new mid-engine Corvettes look pretty nice. I like they look foreign. Like they look like you're driving around some sort of foreign Ferrari, something crazy exotic, but mid-engine Corvette. It's very cool. Wait, that's not a Chrysler. That's Chevy. Look, man, I'm trying, all right? My masculinity card is not the most up to date, all right?
I was just going to let you go with it, man. I was going to let you go with it.
And that's a true gentleman right there in the box. No, that's really funny. Actually, I was gonna say, what is the most common type of car that you sell? Because right now, as many people are aware, there's a shortage of everything and resale value on cars. Some people are selling their cars back for more than they even paid for. So right now, any hot takes on the auto industry and just if people need a car, what to do?
Obviously, Jeep Wranglers are by far the best resale value. Through Consumer Reports and stuff like that. I'm going to get yelled at if somebody hears me on this or knows me on it, but stay with Toyota or Honda or Jeep. That's the way to go.
They last forever. Those FJ Cruisers, those things sell like crazy too. They've been discontinued forever, but people love them. Same thing with Jeep.
Brought them back.
They did. They brought the FJ Cruiser back?
This year, yeah.
Wow. I'm really trying, you guys. Welcome to Suit It Up. Get your car knowledge or something. Let's talk Puff. Let's talk POF. So you're a streamer on Plenty of Fish. Did you join the app knowing that live streaming was available?
No, I actually joined POF probably 12 years ago before this even happened. And then, got in a relationship, did all that good stuff, and then decided after the breakup I needed an outlet and to see what was out there. And I originally thought the live streaming was like nudes or some crazy stuff like that. I was like,
I'm there. Let me click the But you didn't. You joined. You saw what was going on. What was your impression?
Sooner or later, I joined, yes. And I started off as a gifter. I actually started back in December as a gifter. And I was a gifter all the way up until March 15th. And so I've been a black badge every month since then. Probably have swiped my card way too many times, but it's the joy of seeing somebody's reaction when you gift them is what is so contagious that I love. So,
and that competitive nature. It's honestly it's like a cocktail for disaster for someone I think like you, where you got that competitive nature, you're kind of seeing who's out there, and then also you are a great guy and you like to make people happy and support people. You see that battle, there's 5 seconds left on the clock, you're like, I think a castle could really change things around here. Were there any people that inspired you to make that leap from being purely a viewer to get in front of the screen and go live?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, there were some serious top badges that really helped me out. Best Friend was one. Go Getter was one. I started at that route, and I'm just gone up from there. I mean, I've spoken to Epsy before and Jilly Baby. I mean, there's been so many people who have helped me along the way. So
yeah, and you're doing great yourself. So let's as we kind of get to the third part of our conversation, now that you're live, knowing that you're from football background and what you do is sales, this is a little different. Being in front, how did you bridge it? How did you get comfortable in this type of space?
Well, the great thing about in the car dealership, I'm one of the spokespeople for all the commercials that are on every Atlanta Braves game and all that kind of stuff. So I'm in front of the camera a lot. So that didn't bother me. I've even done some sports talk radio shows and stuff like that. So talking to a wall is not a bad thing either. So it's just bridging the gap of actually getting the interaction is what's really changed for me.
Yeah. And what would you say to some of the people who are in that same position as you, who they were a gifter or are a gifter, have been a gifter for a long time, but aren't quite sure about what will happen when they hit that go live button? Was it at all ever scary to you, or do you just tell people go for it? What's your thought?
It was never scary. It was just more the fact that I was clueless. I mean, that's really what it came down to. So I would encourage anybody, that was starting to dip their toes into streaming, just sit back, catch a vibe from people, go in multiple people's streams, kind of learn from that. And then when you hit that live button, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be flashy. You don't have to have loud music every second of the day playing. Just socialize. Be yourself.
Yeah, and it works out pretty well. I'd say that really one of the selling points with all of this is the interpersonal communication, and people can smell when someone's not authentic or it seems off, Yeah. Which you've probably honed because you need to seem very real as a car salesman. It has that stigma. It has that stigma. So what can people look forward to from you? What are you up to these days as far as live goes? Is somewhere to pop in? What could they expect?
Usually they're going to find a laid-back stream. When I stream on Friday and Saturdays, that's when I'll throw the music in there and stuff like that. And then I've been really working on my new show. I switched it up from dad jokes to I bet you can make you laugh with dad jokes. And it's starting to grow, and I'm looking forward to just keeping it going.
I like that a lot. I would never put you on the spot to be like, tell me a dad joke. But if you want to ever slip one in. You came prepared? Welcome to Suit It Up. This is your weekly app talk show thing. We've got B Hill here. He's our very first guest. We still got on the dock Tarot Reader Roger in chemotherapy, so you do not go anywhere. But if you want to laugh, yeah, let's hear what you got, man. I see a whole list, so I'm ready for this.
I'm just gonna give you two.
Okay.
So what do you call a fake noodle?
I don't know.
An impasta.
Oh my gosh. I've
And-
let down myself.
And the last one is how do you follow Will Smith?
I don't know.
Via his Fresh Prince.
What? I haven't heard that one. I think that's funnier than I'm letting on right now. I hate that because I really think that's funny. I gave a bigger reaction to the first one, but I actually think that's really funny. That's actually really good.
It's all good, man.
Do you have any more?
Yeah, I let's see here. I threw down my list here, but you can say, what did Tennessee see?
I don't know.
The same as Arkansas saw.
Oh my gosh. All right, you're cut off. You're not. I just need you as a backup when Friday rolls around. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do for this person, but we're gonna figure it out. That's so good. Make sure you hit the favorite button on Mr. B Hill. Any last things you want to talk about? Things that are important, you want to draw attention to, have coming up that you want to talk about right now?
Well, I mean, Chris, I got a couple things going on as far as trying to build up my show. I would love to have the support of people showing up for that. Would love. I got a couple auctions and all that kind of stuff coming up as well. But the reality is just stop by and say hi. I mean, it's means so much to just have good social conversation, and I appreciate everybody that has supported me through this, and I just look forward to growing and continuing to develop these relationships.
Absolutely. Yeah. Genuine guy right here. Make sure you hit the favorite button on him. He's going to help you find the best deal on either a stream or a vehicle. You can find out. Hit the favorite, though. Thank you so much for being here, Beal. It was great to meet you.
Appreciate you.
Cheers, cheers, cheers. That's our first guest. This is Suit Up. It's your weekly app talk style interview show. That was our guy right there, Mr. B Hill, telling us a little bit about his football history and what he's up to now. Don't go anywhere because we still have one of your newest top badges, chemotherapy, for round 2. He and I are going to talk about some things, so you do not want to miss that. He's got some splaining to do. And our second guest, don't sweat it, dude. I just had to think of a Phil. Chemo, I'm so sorry that I said that. He's probably like, what do we have to talk about? What did I do? I just said it. It was a Phil. And looking back in retrospect, I've probably done that to other people, and they have been sweating. What kind of host am I? All right, anyway, so we got our second guest. He's tarot reader. He comes from a long line of people who read tarot cards. But more than that, there's so much more to it. And he's going to talk about the commercialization of it versus what the history of it is, the lineage of it. So you do not want to miss those types of conversations. It's happening right now. Before we get to that conversation, however, with Mr. Tarot Reader Roger, quick shout out to our top gifters this evening so far. We've got King J. We've got Bob the Drill. I can say that. We've got Reese. We've got Bay 358 tag, Skylight. We have Warrior, Anna, our top 3 gifters so far this stream. We've got GTD, Jane. Oh, this is, I was going to say Janae. It's Janae. I almost got it wrong. Recent top badge, congratulations. We got Tarot Reader in number 2, and our top gifters so far this evening, the one, the only, the man who keeps it so classic, Mr. Classic OG. Thank you so much. All right, coming to the box now. Our second guest this evening, requesting the box. Tarot Reader, please report to the building. I gave you a lot of time. I read all the gifters and everything. I did my best. Let me look. Let me check my watch. Okay. Tarot Reader, if you want to join the box. And by the way, if it's your first time here and you're wondering, well, what are we doing every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? We have conversations with people who are up and coming on the platform, who have new shows and are doing great content. Coming to the box now is one of them. He goes by Tarot Reader Roger. Welcome to the show, everyone. Tarot Reader. My neighbors wonder what's going on. My windows are open. Hey, Mr. Tarot Reader.
How are you?
Dude, I'm great. I'm excited for this conversation. It's a little salt and pepper, a little different than what we normally do on here. So before we get too far into the cards, let's have some context of who you are and what it is that you do. So, what, in your own words, is a tarot reader, and how does it apply to you?
Well, let's take it a step back. I'm more of a card reader, but what's known is tarot. So, for instance, if you mention Lenormand or a card reader, many people won't know what it is. But I go with the name of Tarot Reader Roger. Now, when it comes into card reading, what I do is I read the card the way they are. I do not sugarcoat it. I say it as is. I do over 80 spreads, ranging from, funny enough, prediction, daily guidance cards, relationship, business business readings, health, and various stuff that I do also as well. Now, the way I read, unlike any other readers that you may have come across or you will come across, I do not want to know your question. I do not want to know your story. I let the cards tell the story in multiple different ways, and you will relate to the relevant meaning of the card. That's what I usually do. Now, from a lineage perspective, as you mentioned, I come from a long history. My father used to be a reader. My grandfather used to be a reader as well. Now, from a non-cards perspective, card reading, or reading specifically in my lineage, came in from Coffee Bean. It goes back for the past few hundred years when it comes into both sides of my family. My father's side.
Can I slow you down there just for a second? You said something really interesting that a lot of people may not know about. So you said that it started out with coffee beans, that tarot has roots, no pun intended.
Yes.
Coffee comes from roots, right? Okay. Yeah. So it comes from coffee. How does that work? How does coffee bean readings work?
Well, let's take it a step back. Tarot specifically started back in the 1400s, 1500s. It was for the Italians and the French. It wasn't a tarot per se. It used to be a set of 56 cards. 56 cards at the time. And it was for the super rich. It used to be a game. And the divination happened 350 years later. Now, for coffee beans, the way it used to read, you used to drink a coffee, put the cup upside down, and there used to be shapes and shapes that came in from the coffee cup. And people used to read it from that perspective. And those, for instance, have been printed on the deck of cards I have in my hand over here, which is Lenormand. And Lenormand per se has been named after Anne-Marie Lenormand, which is a famous fortune teller that read the cards for Napoleon Bonaparte and his wife at the time. However, when the game started, it started as a game of hope, and then it took a different direction following the death of Anne-Marie Lenormand. And it was only used for that purposes for marketing. And this started with a German game. So the root of tarot, for instance, is Italian and French. And Lenormand, it's more French perspective on that side. Wow. Now, obviously, when it comes into tarot, if you go fast forward to the 1900s, the most widely known cards is what is used today is Rider-Waite, which is in the early 1900s. That's mostly used in the English-speaking countries. However, you have Tarot La Marseille, which is for the French-speaking country. It have roots from over there, and obviously in the US, it's Rider-Waite, and the first publication that was well documented came in from there.
Wow. So burning question here too. By the way, everyone, welcome to Suited Up. We're getting the context right now, getting a history lesson, and not only tarot, but readings. Tarot reader does not only do tarot cards, but for widespread adoption, it's easier to have that name. What is, so my big question here is, what is powering the influence of the tarot? Because if or even the reading, because you said coffee came out in shapes, the cards, they appear in particular orders. Is there supposed to be an energy that's influencing it? Is it, this is a huge question, but what is the influence that is directing the reading or results?
It's the current energy of the querent or the individual. This is how it works. So for instance, when I would be doing a reading for you later on, I'm sitting 3,000 or 4,000 miles away from you. Mm-hmm. And I will be connecting to your energy and I will read it accordingly. And when it comes into cards, it's all about your current energy. So if you have less positive energy, it will be picked up. Current energy will be picked up. It's according to your state of mind also as well. So my 2 cent advice for anyone who would like to have a reading: if you go through a bad patch, don't have a reading. It will be a reflection of your current state of mind. The reading will be a confirmation of what you already know. It's not
Wow.
a science. It's not set in stone.
If we can kind of slow that down just for a moment too. You said something important, and I want to make sure I understood it correctly. You said if you're in a bad mindset or a bad position, don't seek out the reading because your reading will reflect that.
No.
That's
Yes.
not what you said. That is what you said. Or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is what you said.
That's what I said.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Which is my follow-up to that, which is interesting because in most cases, I would imagine when people are seeking a reading is when they're in distress. They're looking for an answer, or they want to know what's going to happen. But you're saying that according to the readings and tarot, that they would pick up on that energy and it would come out as a negative result.
Yes, and what I suggest to people and what I ask them, if somebody comes in distress, I refuse to read for them. If someone is not in a good place, I refuse to read for them. However, most people that I read for, they're not in that situation. They just like to have a confirmation of what they already know or what's around the corner. It's, for instance, one of the spreads that I do on a regular basis is your current situation and what's affecting it. And it's read in multiple different ways, and it provides you with the insights of your situation and seeing it from a different perspective from someone who doesn't know you, haven't came across you, and haven't asked you a single question. All what you need to do is listen to what that person is saying.
Okay.
But
Well,
as you're aware, life is dynamic, is not static. And hence, when someone wants to have a card reading, it's not like, oh, I have done it today and I don't need another one. If you don't need another one, don't have another one. But coming in every hour or every day for a reading is not required unless you want to have a daily guidance card. Look at the daily guidance card as reading the horoscope, for instance.
Sure.
In my experience, for those that I do regular reading for, their situation have changed. That's why they came back.
Okay. There's a million questions that I would ask about this because it's all very interesting. However, I know that part of our conversation today is a reading, and I know you need a little time to do that. So everyone, quickly, while we have the chance, hit Tarot Reader with the favorite. He's about to do a reading on me. I've done this before, but I got to tell you, he's got a different approach. So I'm very excited to see how he does this. Hit the favorite button. This is Suit Up, your weekly talk show. All right, let's pop into this. I'm ready.
Well, you have a choice over here on what is it that you would like me to read for you. Would you like me to read your current situation and what's affecting it, or you would like me to read for you what's going to happen in your life for the next 6 to 8 weeks? The choice is yours.
The 6 to 8 weeks one is definitely interesting to me. I'm very interested in that.
Okay. So bear with me a moment when I lay down the cards and I can start your reading. Now, the deck that I'm using to read for you from tonight is Lenormand. It's not tarot. So the likelihood you haven't had your cards read from that deck previously. I'll be reading them in multiple different ways. You will relate with the relevant meaning of the card. If at any given moment of time you would like me to stop, say stop, and I will. And I will be taking a few breaks over here to make sure that you're following through what I'm reading to you.
Okay.
Now, the card you have over here is you. What's above you, which is what's on your mind. You are emotionally confused regarding short-term happiness when it comes into work. You're taking some time off to reflect on your next step. And that's affecting your relationship status. That's one way of reading these cards. I'm going to take my first pause over here. Are you following through what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, I know that it takes the conjunction of the cards to get the reading, so I'm just paying attention right now.
Do you have any questions based on what I've said?
I've never seen it laid out like this, so I do, but I'm more interested in you being able to go through your process.
That's a different layout. Okay, so what's under you? What's under you, you decided to be a hermit, to take some time off to reflect on what is it that you want to do. There is a situation that's making you mentally confused and emotionally confused, and it's going to cause you a painful ending. And that's what's troubling you. Now, that's what's under you. What is known about you, which is in the past. You had mental confusion regarding a third party who caused you stress within your short-term happiness in a certain relationship. Where you are at, which is your current energy, where you are at now, you are emotionally confused, and that's forcing you to take some time off to reflect on your next step. What's going to happen within the next 2 weeks? That's immediate future. Also, you're going to have an immediate ending, but with every ending, you have a new beginning. And with that new beginning, you're going to have a clean slate. That clean slate is related to a relationship. The relationship in question is related to a third party who caused the painful ending. The mental confusion that you have is related to a health-related situation when we combine these two parts together. However, if we read it from a different perspective, the mental confusion that you have is related to a clean slate when it comes into a short-term happiness. Look into a short-term happiness for something for the next 2 weeks. It's like taking a child to a candy shop. That's not permanent. Now, in the past, you had mental confusion. You thought you had it, but what happened? Short-term happiness took place. In the near future, you're thinking about the painful ending, but what's going to take place is a relationship is going to take place over here. The trigger for your emotional confusion and forcing you to take some time off to reflect. You're going to have a burden and a grieving. When it comes into the painful ending within a relationship, the trigger for that is a childish behavior, immature behavior, or a child-related matter. The core of your reading, you have emotional confusion when it comes into a third party. Look at it as another woman who's forcing you to take some time off to reflect, and also as well to have a clean slate. Another way of reading the cards, combining these three, the lower three together. This one takes a meaning from a health perspective. So you have the health card, you have a medical facility, and over here you have anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. So that's what may be causing it on a mental health perspective if you look at it from that side. Now, chaining your cards for the next 4 to 6 weeks. One way of reading the cards. There is a health situation that's affecting your mental health. You have a burden, you have a grieving coming in your way. And the likelihood is going to affect your health from an illness perspective. However, there is an immature behavior or a child-related matter within your social surrounding. Reading the cards backward within your social surrounding, the relationship in question, you're thinking that's going to give you a painful ending. When it comes into the immature behavior, this is related to emotional confusion. It's forcing you to take some time off to reflect. When it comes into the burden and the grieving, this is related to a third party. That third party is making you mentally confused. When it comes into your short-term happiness. And finally, the final way of reading these cards. There is a third party, another woman within your social surrounding, who has an immature behavior. And there is a health-related situation that you need to address. I'll take a pause over here.
Yeah, if we could just
based on what I've read.
Yeah, if we could just like slow down for 2 seconds. So, I didn't do very well in math class because I can only get about 3 sentences in before my brain's like yeet. So, if I could just like have like a small, short Spark Note summary of kind of just like a little version of like what you're saying, because I'm not quite able to follow. Are you okay? I'm not okay. Are you still there?
So the summary of what I can say
okay.
regarding
You're
your
okay.
reading. You need to address your mental health before it goes out of hand. Sorry that. Yes, I'm over here. It was breaking off a bit. It was lagging. The summary of your reading. Yeah. So the summary of your reading, you need to address your mental health before it goes out, because you have a painful ending coming in your way. And what's going to happen in the near future? The painful ending is going to give you a rekindled affair, a new beginning when it comes into a certain relationship. That's the summary of your reading.
Okay, I'm going to repeat it back to you to make sure that I understand it properly. So I need to take care of my mental health because there is a painful ending approaching, but the painful ending will set me up for a clean slate for something new.
Yes.
Okay. I can understand that. I feel like the phrase painful ending, you know, like if I was a part of the PR team for the tarot cards, I'd be like, hey guys, listen, this whole painful ending thing, it needs a new name. Like we got to market it different. The people are scared. They don't want this card. Stocks are down on the painful ending. Stocks need to get boosted on it. Okay. What is your suggestion of what I do with this reading?
I would suggest that you take it and sleep on it and reflect on it and then take the next step for you. That's a confirmation of what you already know. So what I've read for you over here is nothing that you don't know about.
Okay.
So with every ending you have, there is a new beginning coming in. That's the way I see it.
Let's also, well, thank you, number one, for the reading. I appreciate that. That was definitely different than a reading that I've had in the past. So a round of applause for that. Thank you. For the people who are interested in getting their own types of readings, make sure you hit the favorite button on Tarot Reader. Can we bring you back? Can you come back to the box, or is there more to talk about as far as the tarot goes?
No, that's what you have over here for the moment, which is what's going to happen within the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest, not super stoked about the painful ending. Good. All right. Hit the favorite button on Tarot Reader. Tarot Reader, if people want to see more readings, if they want to understand more of this stuff, when can they check out your show?
Well, I stream every day around 7 a.m. Eastern, which is 12 p.m. GMT, 9 p.m. Queensland's time. My show is every Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern time. It's for a period of 1 hour. I have multiple guests each week. And the way it's structured, the first 15, 20 minutes, we speak about cards, history of the cards, what needs to be known about the cards. And for the following 40 minutes or so, I have 2 guests that I read for them, different spreads. They're not the same spreads read every week. It depends basically what is it that they want me to read for them. They're pre-selected beforehand. We go through stuff beforehand also as well. It's on a structured perspective to have to avoid any unpleasant surprises, as you would appreciate.
Well, that's pretty in depth. That's very cool. And for anyone who's interested in this, I know there's people who are interested in astrology, interested in horoscopes, interested in tarot and readings. This is right up the alley. I mean, and you're professional. You come from how many generations of people in your family have been readers?
From a card reading perspective, I'm the 3rd generation. From a non-card reading perspective, I would believe I am the 8th or the 9th generation.
So 8 or 9 generations of people in your family.
Yes.
I use the word lineage to describe it, and I would say that's appropriate. You come from a lineage of readers.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Correct.
That's very impressive. Well, Tarot, the time just escaped us because we did a lot of things, but I don't want to short you on anything that is important to you to talk about. So before you go, anything that you want to plug, talk about, mention?
I mean, on a card reading perspective, keep it real. Go to a reader that you are comfortable for reading for you, either it's a he or a she, depending on their energy. For instance, my reading are harsh or blunt. I use Lenormand. I don't choose Just Like Tarot.
Okay.
And go and check it out. I mean, you don't have to come for a reading. You can have a daily guidance card. Check it out if you're open to it. Keep an open mind. What I say to people, I'm not asking you to believe in what I believe in. I ask you to consider what you believe in.
Sauce. I'm not asking you to believe in what I believe in. I'm asking you to consider what you believe in. I think those are words to live by. That's great. Challenge your own realities and beliefs. Yes, that's great. That's good. I like that. Tarot, thank you so much for being here.
Great.
Hit the favorite button on Tarot Reader. Well-spoken, articulate.
Thank you for having me.
Very in-depth. You do not want to miss that type of content. Check out his show if you're a morning person. You're in the UK though, yeah?
Yes, I am.
I mean, I thought that was public knowledge. But you are not in the time zone that I'm in. And thank you for being on the show. I'm just gonna, just chill.
That's all
Thank
right.
you for being on the
It's
show,
always a pleasure
Terry.
to be over here. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
That
Cheers.
was the painful ending. I'm hoping that was the painful ending. I'm so sorry. Hey everyone, welcome to Suited Up. This is your weekly talk show. My name's Chris. I'm your host, and this is your commercial break for all the things that are happening and going on. This is your weekly announcement to check in about Playlist. If you follow me on Instagram, hit my name. I gave you all the inside scoop this past weekend on how to get 80% off on your Playlist ticket. If you don't follow me, how are you supposed to know that? You could follow the Playlist site, but why make it that easy on yourself? Life needs to be filled with more obstacles. So hit me with the favorite, please, so you can get those great updates, get all the inside scoops, all the great information. 80% off this past weekend on Memorial Day for the Memorial Day sale. If you are considering going to Playlist, you don't even have a ticket yet, and don't fret, I'm gonna spoil it. They've done more than one sale before. If you're considering going to Playlist, put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you're considering going to Playlist. Just put a 1, and don't put anything if you're not planning on it. Now, if you have a ticket, let people know. Connect with other people. We are going to be making an official announcement on the rundown. I believe we're shooting for next week. We're aiming for this week, but gosh darn it, keep it PG on here. Gosh darn it, next Friday we are hoping to make an official announcement. I'll be joined by, you ready for this? Y'all ready for this? I'm going to spoil who's joining us on the rundown. This is why you got to watch this show. Ryan is going to be joining us on the rundown. That's right. Those of you familiar with Ryan, have you ever seen Ryan before? Well, she's the best. We love Ryan. She's our inside scoop on all things Playlist. We're going to be talking about some of the official events that will be happening at Playlist, what to expect, tips and tricks when it comes to booking and what to look for, strategies, and more. So you do not want to miss that. It's going to be hopefully next Friday. Okay? We're going to stay loose on that. On that note, a quick shout out to B Hill, Tarot Reader, and Chemotherapy. They're our guests this evening. Still more to come with Chemotherapy, one of your newest top badges. Chemo, if you would do me the big honor of requesting that box. While we wait for that to happen, let's quickly shout out our top 10 gifters so far this evening. We've got Culinary, Ninja Daddy, Bay 358, Skylight, Warrior, Anna, Reese, and our top 3 for this week's Suited Up. In third, new top badge alert, Janae coming through. In second place, the man you just saw, the myth, the mystical man himself, Tarot Reader. And in first place, the one who always keeps it OG, Mr. Classic OG. Thank you so much for all your generosity. I look forward to converting these gifts and sending them back out into the community because I'm the ultimate gift trader. All right, on that note, here comes our third guest. He is one of your newest top badges, and he's looking to have a great conversation. He's in the right place. Hit the favorite button. Here we go, Mr. Chemo.
Yo, it's good. It was good. Before we get into this, am I cute?
VQ.
There we go.
VQ.
I just had to make sure. What's up, big hearted?
You look like you came ready to. Have you seen the movie Midsummer?
Is that a skateboard movie?
Midsummer is most it could be confused for a skateboard movie.
No.
There's Midsummer and skateboarding are they're close. But it's a different type of movie. You look like you're from the cast of Midsummer. I'm
gonna take that as a compliment. If you could confuse it with skateboarding, I'm gonna take it as a compliment.
Some people might. Might confuse it.
Let's go.
After this, I'm gonna say you should watch it in an perspective changing situation. Like you want to watch it completely clear vision, okay? Because that movie does some stuff to really
Wait. It's horror? It's like a It's scary.
Scary skateboarding, horror movie. Have you ever fallen
Oh, wait, hold up. I didn't know that's what I was getting into.
Yeah, it's
Not aware.
terrifying. You fall off a skateboard, skid your knee. It's basically the same thing. So, but okay. So you look good. You're gonna watch Midsummer. That's awesome.
Okay.
Let's get this. Let's talk about this flower thing. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the origin of the flowers? Because I know you're known for it.
The origin of the flowers is kind of like a symbol, right? I feel like a lot of spaces on this app, sometimes they could get too big. Not too big, but big enough to where people who just now joining the app, it's hard for them to figure out where they fit in.
Sure.
And like, if you walk into a garden, you already know it's a garden. You know what flowers look like. You know it's not too imposing on you. You know what I'm saying? So the garden is like a symbolizer of organic space where everybody could just come in and chill out. You know what I'm saying?
Now
Keep
you
it
got me.
organic though. Keep it organic. We don't panic. I'm gonna tell you that like that. Yeah.
Keep it organic. We don't. Do you know methane is organic? It's crazy. But that's the thing. Right. So is mercury. It's nuts. Okay. So you got your flower patch. You're hanging out. You're doing the frolicking. What said to you, I need to take this to the live world? Did you know you wanted to be a broadcaster?
No. So like, when I first come to the app, I downloaded this app so I could find something or somebody to get into. You know what I'm saying? It was my birthday. I was just trying to explore, see what's out here for the world. You dig what I'm saying?
I really want to set the stage for that because my notes say something great. I quote from Chemotherapy. I was looking for a lady to be cool with.
Yeah, you dig what I'm saying? That's exactly what I was trying to do. And then I swiped over.
What does it mean, Chemo, to find a lady to be cool with? What does that mean?
Yeah, I just want to be cool with her. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Ari. All right, I just want to be cool with her.
Just cool.
And I didn't find that. I ended up swiping over. I didn't know how to use the app. And I saw the live button. And I went live immediately because it was my birthday. And I wanted everybody to see. It was my birthday. And it was such a fun day. I didn't end up going out and doing anything except stand on the app the whole day. And people was like, yo, come back tomorrow. And I was like, all right, I'll be back tomorrow. And I figured out how to do that again. And then I've been back every day ever since. And that was like almost 2 years ago.
Wow. What a
So
great.
people brought me to it, to long story short. Like, it wasn't me to just like, yo, I'm about to go live. It was just like, it was like, yo, come back, do this again. And I was like, all right.
Chemo said, no matter what cake you're craving on your birthday, there's an app for it. And that's
Exactly.
the moral of the story. So that's so good, man. All right. So he got on the app. That was a certified banger of a pun. And for those of you in the comments who did not acknowledge it, I'm so disappointed. All right. So you come on the platform, you're doing it, you're doing your thing. And what hooked you? You said that you had so much fun on here and that you've done it every day since. But what was so fun about it?
I always thought I was kind of random and crazy. And when I came here, I seen people who was more random and more crazy. And I was like, all right, I ain't the worst. I ain't the best either. It depends on how you look at it. You know what I mean? I came on here and I saw a lot of people like, you know how much stuff you can see on this app? You could be swiping through and see somebody like sleep, snoring, and you can try to wake them up. Like all types of stuff. I never seen that before. I'm also from Michigan, by the way, Chris.
Really?
Yeah, I'm from Detroit, man, and we never heard of this type of stuff. So when I seen it, I was like, yeah.
Okay.
People want me to come back? Me? I'm chemotherapy. Like, I came back.
Well, we're happy that you did. Make sure you're hitting the favorite button on Chemo, by the way. He is our third final guest this evening. He's also one of your newest top badges. Flower and birthday plan arranging connoisseur. So you get here, you've been doing your thing. I see on your goals that you want to have 1,000 flowers. 1,000. What does that mean to you, Chemo, to get 1,000 flowers?
1,000 flowers would make this whole app organic. So the flowers are like the people who are associated with the garden. Those are the people down there dropping all those flowers. Those are people down there who've been around before Top Badge, before any of that. And like, we do a celebration, like a ceremony to bring people into that. And usually when you see these on my head, it's something important going on. This was worthy. All right. So I want to have 1,000 followers, right? I mean, 1,000 flowers. Right now it's like 30 of us, but it could be deeper.
You said 30 some?
Yeah, about 30 something.
Okay. I like the spirit. Shoot big. And even if you miss, you're still among the stars.
We don't.
Or in your case, the flowers. Whichever. You remind me of another guy I knew back in 2018. He said, I think I know one of the best ways to find recognition on this platform is to get everyone to put a suit in their name. And he did. He got his badge, the fastest of any male in the history of the platform. So if you guys forget I used to stream. I got to find ways to plug myself every now and again, all right? Half of you don't even know I was a streamer, all right? So anyway, back to you, though. So you've got that goal of having the 1,000. How are you going to accomplish it? What's the chemotherapy movement to get so many people on board of such a big goal?
The first thing we're going to do is make sure that we do not panic. All right. If somebody is not trying to join us, we're not trying to force it. If somebody gets on this app and they're not learning fast enough, we're not trying to force it. We will not panic under any circumstances. The second step is to keep it organic. All right. Which means
I love
we're
you,
gonna
man.
keep it, which means we are gonna keep it, how you say this? Keep it cordial and keep it like authentic, right? We want to keep authentic vibes. A lot of times
You'd say keep it organic.
keep it organic, yeah. Like people can tell when stuff is fake, people can tell when you got a little, some cut inside the mix, and we keeping it pure, 100% 55th Street. Okay. That's it.
All right.
Yeah.
Keep it 55th. All right.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mac.
Oh, come on, keep
Oh,
going.
Mac. All right. You guys
Yeah,
never
yeah.
believe what I watch in my free time. You'd be ashamed. I'm sorry, Mom.
Oh,
Listen.
come on.
All right, you're all banned. All right, Chemo. You're doing your thing. You have a huge life outside of the platform, though. I know that you said you canceled your birthday plans, but you have some big responsibilities. You want to let the people out there know the types of big responsibilities you have?
All right, I got a few big responsibilities. I feel like the biggest responsibility is probably to my kid. I got a son, little Lito. If you follow me on Instagram, sometimes you might see me do a live stream over there. It's very wholesome. Just me and Lito. We just talking a lot. He is you learn a lot about people by watching your kid. You know what people react to. You know how people respond to the emotions, right? And a lot of times when we adults and we walking around in life, like we don't really appreciate what other people, how they respond to us. And your kid is like the best raw, like example of how to do that. Like if you just say something the same, you can say the same sentence, but the way that you say it might make your kid laugh or cry. And that is an example of how you should, treat the stage of the world, man. Keep it organic, no matter where you at.
The inflection is key. That is true. The inflection is key. By the way, everyone, we saw him in the chat. Mr. Moore does have a show after this. It's Forgiveness Culture. I mentioned the other week Pet Profiles. He hasn't had that show in like a year or a week. It's the same thing in streamer time. But make sure you check him out after this. In the meantime, though, you are hitting the favorite button on Chemo. So you're dad first. You're dad first. You got those big responsibilities. We've had guests on the show before who talked about what it was like, what they were like before being a parent and who they were after being a parent. Do you feel like after becoming a parent, you recognized any changes in yourself?
Absolutely. Before becoming a parent, I would say I lived a life that you had to be a bachelor to live. You had to not have kids. You had to be able to stay awake for a long time, be able to skid your knee on that skateboard, you know what I'm saying, and get back up. Like you
Having
said,
a couple Coca-Colas before bedtime. We hear you, man.
something you said earlier really struck me. You said life should be filled with more obstacles, and that's what I was on. I was filling my life with more obstacles. And then at a certain point, I was like, all right, hold on. I got a kid now, and I dialed it back, right? I didn't dial it all the way back, but I dialed it back enough so that my kid could get on board and choose how he wanted to live his life. I was mostly at the skate park, mostly skating streets, mostly. I'm like big on skateboarding, so what comes with life is a lot of recklessness, I would say. And I got a kid.
I really like a lot of the adult skateboarders that I've met in my life. Like there's teenage skateboarders, but like the adults who skateboard, they have a different way they carry themselves.
True.
It's interesting. They've got a real protective culture around their skateboarding.
Yeah,
it's cool. It's really cool.
True,
I'm not even joking here.
No, this is serious.
Mm-hmm. What type of deck do you like to use, by the way?
I use brand or size.
Well, come on, man. I'm trying to look like I know what I'm talking about.
Okay, this is what I do. I like. Hey, shout out Nick G. I really like Baker boards. I really like Baker boards, and I also ride an 838, so it's a little bit bigger. I'm kind of tall. I look short, but I'm really not. I'm really not.
Well, if I see you on a World Industries board,
cancel me. You see me on World Industries, cancel me right there.
God.
No, serious.
Whatever. Yeah. I'll give you a birdhouse and a girl. The skateboarding brand, not the human being. All right. Is there a chance we're going to see you rolling to do into playlist? Any chance you're going to do that? Yes. Great. So excited to see you there. Man.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude,
for sure.
No. Look, as a top badge, and this is going to every top badge, VIP watching, every person watching right now, do not deny yourself the opportunity to go to playlist. Seriously, start planning now. If you're missing, it's crazy. He's talking about Wet Willie and Flame Boy, by the way, with World Industries.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and make this about you again, though. I apologize. Fashion. Let's talk fashion. Clearly, the flowers are part of it. But how would you describe your self-expression? Because you are a very expressive person.
I would describe it as kind of like how I see the world. I try to take things that mean a lot to me from the world and put it into my fashion. So like these flowers is one example of that, but I spoke about that. Like this shirt that I got on is a shirt that I wore. And I believe in like speaking for yourself, naming yourself, and creating for yourself. And sovereignty is a word that symbolizes that for me. And so I came out with a brand called the Sovereign Society, right? Trademarked it, did all that. And I made this shirt. It was white when I got it, had a collar. I cut it, dyed it with plants. See what I'm saying? See what I get there? And then I embroidered it and it says Sovereign around the collar. And I wear this sometimes. If you catch me in my streams, most of the whatever I'm wearing is something that I made. You know what I'm saying?
That's really cool, man. That's really cool. So you're an actual designer yourself.
Yeah, I start on the iPad with an Apple Pencil. Sometimes I start on paper, then put it on the iPad. It always ends up on the iPad, but then I get on the sewing machine and put it together, man. I'm on hood.
Call this man Tanner because he's the #1 designer on that. Have you ever heard of a brand called Unfinished Legacy?
I have, by Brema.
Yeah, I just picked up some of his newest drops.
That's dope. I really respect the way that he shows everybody his process. I only show the flowers my process. Everybody else, they just gotta guess how I came up with it. But I respect him for being open with the world about that. You know
He's very cool, and so are you. And for that reason, people need to hit the favor button. Hit the favor button on Chemo. Before we wrap up, man, real quick, too, everyone. This is Suited Up. It's your weekly app update talk show. We were joined by 3 guests this evening. Sunset is on this sunflower known as chemotherapy. I mean that totally respectfully. It's the flower.
That was the best way you could have put it. Okay.
Perfect. And before that happens, though, any last things you want to talk about? Anything that you want to plug? You're passionate about? You want to hit us with?
I just want to say, I got an auction coming up. June 4th. And I'm not the only one that's this dope, right? Like, if you check out my stream and check out all the flowers, just look at my board, find out what everybody else do. You can go listen to some dope music from somebody named T's channel, man. Figure him out. If you need some waist beads, holla at Nisha, baby. If you need things moved around the country, holla at D. If you need your nails done in UNVA, holla at Emmy. if you need your kids to be learning something, holla at Aaron. And I just want to shout
What
out
are we
Aaron.
learning?
She gonna teach your kids like ABCs and stuff.
Oh,
It's very
missed
important. Like one of the most foundational pieces of speaking. It's very important. Like no cap.
Put that on a plaque
You
for
know what
me.
I'm saying? Like,
The ABCs are foundational to speaking. Chemotherapy. 20. I know why you got your top badge, man. This is certified entertainment. Put it in gold. It's organic too. Chemotherapy. He's one of your newest top badges. We love him. Thank you so much for being here, man. I could talk to you all day.
No problem. No problem.
Cheers, dude. I'll stop by. All right, take care, everyone. That's chemotherapy. This is Suited Up, your weekly app talk show. We've been hanging out here, doing our thing. We were joined by 3 fantastic guests today. We had B Hill, who gave us the info about his time as a football player. He let us know about cars and the current market conditions. And if you missed that, I'm sorry. If you missed the tarot reader, Mr. Tarot Reader Roger, who came in, comes from a lineage of tarot readers, 8th generation. Yeah, his family, they're dealing with coffee readings and the whole 9, you know, the real stuff. So make sure that you check him out. Give him a favorite. If you missed that conversation, I'm sorry about that too, because it was a great one. And then lastly, we just got done talking with Chemotherapy, who happens to be, well, who he is. What did we learn today is a segment that I had let go, but I think today is an important day to bring back what did we learn today. For those of you who are not aware, learning the alphabet is important to learning the language. Okay? Chemo coming in with the hard facts. Okay, I know some people don't want to hear it. Some people don't want to know that you got to learn letters. They're afraid. They don't want you to win. But you got to learn your alphabet. Chemo's here to help you with it. Thank you so much to all of you who are watching. One last shout out to our top gifters this evening. We had Bay358. Don't try and sneak it in now. Don't you try goofing me. All right, I'll try it one more time. We had, for our top 10 this evening, we had Bay358. We had Sweet Tea Beer. We had Skylight, Warrior, Anna, Reese, Tarot Reader, the top 3 gifters for this evening. We had, I almost said Janae. Janae. Oh, I'm going to mispronounce it again. We had, Janae's trying to come to the top. We had Classic OG Janae and Culinary Plus. Thank you so much to all of you for all of your generosity. We really do appreciate it. Make sure you tune into the Rundown this Friday, where we go over everything trending and happening and new within the live community. You don't want to miss that. If you do not have me on Instagram, please help me sleep better at night by hitting the follow. It's the only way I get external validation. What else do I do this for, right? Okay. I hit too close to home. And then lastly, thank you to you. Please join us next week. We're looking out. We're hanging out. Much love. As always, please stream with respect. Until then, take care. Harass Ari and Skylight if you're interested in being in the show. Love to have a conversation with you, by the way. Always got to plug them. Much love. Take care, everyone. Bye.